channel as we creep closer to 500. We got one of the GOATs, maybe the GOAT. We got Jehst, 1979. This track's been asked for a bunch of times. We're going to rectify that today. So without further ado, let's jump in. See what he's got for us. You got me, man. Son of a bitch. You got me. That beat's so nasty.
I bleed liquid gold and slur speech in a cryptic code. My feet slipping on this twisted road. Only the mystic knows the lone figure in the distance. No bigger than the sum of his inscriptions or the extent of his conviction. I sip vitamin enriched liquid diction and digest fiction for culture. I'm force-fed gold, the monster. My head and neck connected by a mold. Try to hold things together like the skins I fold and take my food for thought with a pinch of salt. True to form my sin results in self-doubt. Look into my eyes, I don't need to spell it out. You can see it.
You can see it. I didn't know where to stop it there, man. He like the reason why he is one of those, man. One of the greatest to ever do this. Even that, like, you don't. They say the eyes are the windows to a man's soul. And he's like, you just look in my eyes and you can see it, man. You can see the truth. Stop that at the wrong friggin' time. I should have let that bar finish, man. But talking about that man, the sum of his convictions and his inscriptions, especially as a writer or as a hip hop artist, man. You're judged on your words and how you present them. And a man, they often say, as a man is only as good as his word, and that kind of, it expands into the hip hop world, right? And the way that Jehst does things, where he's talking about that bolt on the monsters, kind of like that Frankenstein thing. I'm thinking. But he goes from bolt to the very next bar, which is not at all connected. It brings in that hold it together, which is what a bolt does, right? So I love the way he does that type of shit. And taking something about did you say words of wisdom with a pinch of salt, or food for thought with a pinch of salt? Which is just amazing, man. Because people say that again. People say, take what that person says with a grain of salt. And so that's what he's saying is, man, people who try to tell him kind of how to live his life, give him some advice about how he should do shit, how he should live, how he should present himself, and he takes all that with a pinch of salt. Meaning that either, he doesn't give it his full attention, he doesn't take it as gospel, or he's got to flavor it up a little bit because it's boring as balls. But anyways, let's keep going, man. This is sick.
I sin results in self-doubt. Look into my eyes, I don't need to spell it out. You can see it. How I tripped and fell down and picked myself up. Turned myself round from the cliff's edge and staggered home like a misled pisshead and put up a fight till my fist bled. I choke on lead until my spit's red. When I step outside to get a quick breath of fresh death, now there's no air left. And 50% of us couldn't care less. Our bare flesh exposed to the cancerous light like.
I got 50% of us couldn't care less. I wonder, is that kind of a commentary on? So if I was thinking this was the United States, like it's 50% Democrat, 50% Republican, and I wonder if it's the same in the UK, where it's very similar, where it's kind of like the two parties get split up, 50% of the country on each side. I wonder if that's quite it's a political type of idea, or because he's talking about no air left, so maybe it's a global warming type of, which could still be political, I guess. But I heard something here now that is completely gone. I got to bring this back a second.
See it, how I tripped and fell down and picked myself up, turned myself round from the cliff's edge and staggered home like a misled pisshead and put up a fight till my fist bled. I choke on lead until my spit's red. When I step outside.
That's what I like, man. I like that. Like he's fighting the good fight, man. Till his fist bled. I love that shit. And then he brings up, I choked on lead until I spit red. And that's when I think of that, man. I think about like lead in a pencil, writing those bars, man. And then he spit that fire, that red. I know red. He could also be meaning blood, but his blood, sweat, and tears down on the paper. But that's what I'm getting with that part.
Time to get a quick breath of fresh death. Now there's no air left. And 50% of us couldn't care less. Our bare flesh, exposed to the cancerous light like tearing the film out your cameras. I'm still ravenous. I feel my stomach acid. Keep burning as I work towards another classic. Melt your plastic chat, snatch your comfort.
He stays hungry, man. That's what he's saying.
Like tearing the film out your cameras. I'm still ravenous. I feel my stomach acid. Keep burning as I work towards another classic. Melt your plastic chat, snatch your comfort blanket. In this cold world you're naked and unattractive. And your tactics are underhanded. I hibernate through the winter and wait for the summer madness.
1979.
See what I was saying about that, with those bars too, kind of like bleeding into each other. He's talking about steal your comfort blanket, which has nothing to do with an actual blanket. It's just that it's that comfort. It's more of a term, kind of like Linus with his comfort blanket, right? He's gonna steal that shit. He's gonna leave you cold and naked, and it's just bringing that shit together, man. Two different bars bringing it together. I friggin' love that shit. Just outstanding.
I hibernate through the winter and wait for the summer madness.
1979. 1979. 1979. Take it back to 79. 1979. From winter to winter. The sunshine. Take it back to 79.
Put me the dirty stock out. Beat us on the couch. Stout on my breath and a bad case of desert mouth. Feather drowning my pain in the pleasant sound of whispered words and rainfall on level ground. Gagged around with no hope of getting out. Save the secrets and lies, I'm trying to settle down. But like the weather now, I'm unpredictable. My hate's bitter, but my love's unconditional. Living in this digital age, these are strange days. My rage take, we're freed on the same page, I make waves.
My first thought off the beginning of this thing, man, is that whole idea about like skeletons, and I think he said something about like lies and skeletons. I think he said, I could maybe I think that's what I heard. Anyway, and he's unpredictable like the weather and stuff, and I'm thinking like his love is unconditional, but so is his hate. So I wonder if that's kind of like he talks about wanting to settle down and stuff. So is this kind of like talking to a woman, maybe no, maybe I'm reading too much into that. But he has that he wants to be a better man, he wants to settle down, he wants to maybe start a family. But he's too busy getting drunk, maybe he's fooling around, maybe he just is too unpredictable to be in a relationship, even though he wants to be in one. It's kind of my first feeling off that. Could be way off, man.
Unpredictable, my hate's bitter, but my love's unconditional. Living in this digital age, these are strange days. My rage take, we're freed on the same page. I make waves till I wash away the refuse. God of the sea, these are the 8 rooms of Neptune. I make moves to refuge, but don't sleep and walk the streets with a rose in my teeth and a bittersweet song in my heart. I take every step. The hard-headed vet climbs his own Everest. So till the very end, I won't ever rest. I'll serenade my angel with every breath God sends. In remembrance of lost friends. Whenever my top 10 drop, I know what went on then. Provokes me to focus ahead. Close my eyes and get close to the dead. I'm the ghost that begs to be released from limbo. Between two worlds like the thief at the window.
1979. 1979.
Man, those drums just slap something crazy, man. That stuck between two worlds like a thief at the window. God damn, what a bar, man. That it just so beautifully written. It hurts my head how beautifully written that is. Because he's at that window, man, looking in, and he sees the world, the life that he wants, the things that he wants, the things that he wish he could afford. And then he's on the other side of the glass, man, living that life where he can't afford those things, and how he's just in a world of want and hunger, and having to stuck between those worlds, man. And all there is that pane of glass, man. Just so beautiful, so poetic. Seriously. And the whole idea too about, keeping in this game and doing his thing and loving his art form with passion and all that stuff until the bitter end, and then he'd be serenading the angels. Another just absolutely beautiful, beautiful bar, man. Outstanding work as usual. I can see why this track is highly recommended. It's just outstanding. Yeah, man. I appreciate you being here and being part of it and enjoying this with me. I can't believe we're almost at 500. It seems absolutely crazy to me that this is where we are. Almost 2.5 years now we're in this. Loving every second of it. I love every one of you guys, and I appreciate all of your support. And this channel's success is completely on you guys, and I love you for it. Until next time, stay safe. Be good to each other.